Hello.
Oh,
Tito.
Yes, sir.
What's going on? Stan the Man here. Dennis the Menace Bermudez. Welcome back to Menace and the Man.
Right on. Hey, can you hold on one second? I'm totally apologize. I just walking out of Punishment Athletics. I just
dude.
got to sign
No problem.
paperwork and stuff.
I'm
No,
gonna make fun of Stan till you get back.
make fun of me till he gets back?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully he's not going long.
What's your shirt say?
Okay, let's do it.
Don't worry about that shirt. We'll get right back to Tito. Congratulations on the win, Tito.
Right on. Thank you much, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us. Sorry we caught you in a little bit of a scramble. We ran a little bit late with our last guest, so we wanted to make sure we got to call you, get you on.
Tito, can I ask you, do you want to know what Stan's shirt says right now? Stan, tell me what your shirt says.
What is my
You're
shirt?
never too old to play with... Is that a strip club shirt?
Yeah, that's why I was saying just forget about it. Yeah.
That's the kind of guy you're on the air with, Tito.
That's
Oh, he's in his pajamas
they
still.
gotta run when they have it.
Yeah, you know, we might get Sapphires on as a sponsor for the show, so we might be doing Menace
Right.
and the Man live from Sapphires.
Wow. I'm into that.
There's one thing that sells is sex. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, that's the biggest industry. Yeah, we just wanted to get you
No,
back
I'm doing
on,
great,
shoot the
man.
shit. We really wanted to give you a big congratulations. We're glad the event went well. You got the win.
You know, I just the win in general. I think I started something really, really well. That's going to be even greater in the future. I got an opportunity to give Golden Boy promotion to start something grand, and I think it's about giving back to the fighters. And I've been trying to do this my whole career, and I have an opportunity to do it. And I did it with a straight period, man. And I put it on Chuck. I showed that he didn't even belong in the cage with me. I said it since the beginning, but he still continued on of saying he was going to knock me out.
Hey,
All
you
the other
weren't
fans
kidding.
said how he was going to knock me out, and I proved him wrong.
Yeah, he did not belong in the KGU. That was awful. He looked aesthetically good, but you, like, I saw you paw at him just to feel him out, and, like, you wobbled him.
Well, let me tell you, man, he hit me in one punch, and he also had some power behind it, but just...
Well, I mean, you
I was
have
ready,
to
man.
respect him.
I worked so hard for this, man. I think it was just, I was on like no other, man. I could have beat anybody that night. I felt great. My head movement was good. I felt solid on my feet. I did all the work for 18 weeks. I mean, that's all I did.
Yes.
3 times a day, 6 days a week, man. That's all I did.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I lived for this fight.
You've been training these last 8 years. Like, I was talking to Dennis before we started the show. Like, I remember you're running Bellator. You were surging. You were beating even Liam McGeary, and then he caught you in a submission. Like, you're far from over the hill at 43. You're still a beast in the game. Like, Chuck, I'm sorry, he was a little over the hill that 10 years ago. For him to be calling you out now. And then I said to Dennis, it's like Chuck called you out and said, make the fight. And then you actually, were being a businessman, made the fight. So you can't fault Tito for beating the guy up, you know?
I mean...
Exactly. And, and that's what leaves a lot of frustration a little bit, too. It's like I came in the best I possibly could, and that's the way it should have been the first couple times, and it wasn't because of injuries. And I was able to expose how good of a fighter I truly am. And Liddell slowed down a lot in this time, but he's the one who bit off a little more than he can chew, and that's how I can leave it.
Oh, yeah, he thought he was going to win. I remember I watched an interview with Chuck, and Chuck said this was a tune-up fight. And I was like, ooh, I don't know about that.
I took that serious, man. I was like, all right, cool. So I'm going to get clowned by a 48-year-old guy. No way. But, Chuck put in a camp. He looked great at the weigh-ins. He looked great at the fight until he started moving around with me. And I mean, I'm sparring with really, really good guys. Hadeen from Rupert training, of course, Moses Moreira, both the guys they fight in LFA. One's a light heavyweight, one's a 185-pounder. Moses is a 185-pounder. Hadeen is actually a light heavyweight. And these guys are monsters, man. They're young kids who are just learning the game, and I was able to help them. They helped me more than anything, of course, with sparring. And just timing of getting out of the way of punches when the jabs come. You feint, and it's only 2 or 3 inches, and that's all you need to do.
Now, I got to ask, Tito, I saw the little gamesmanship at the press conference. Did you really have spies in his camp?
You know what? Their camp is really loud. They're trying to say what Chuck was and wasn't doing. I really don't have spies. Once you live in Huntington Beach, 200 people in Huntington Beach, I'm going to find out. It's my town, man. I lived here my whole life. I'm going to find out things. I'm going to hear what comes around the camps. I heard he wasn't sparring a lot. I heard he was wrestling a lot. And all I knew that what I wanted to do is I wanted to finish the exclamation point of knocking him out on his feet. Fight his game, not fight my game. That's what people expected. They expected me to try to take him down. I didn't want to take him down. I wanted to stand up on his feet and test to see how good his hands really were. And, and I proved it. I put in the work as I needed to do. And sparring was a big part of it.
Do you want to know what really pissed me off about that fight? Is
What's
like
that?
you started doing your signature finisher, like burial grave, cover, and they tried like stopping that. And you know what I
They
love?
weren't stopping shit.
You know what I loved
Hell
about
no.
you know what I loved about that fight is like they were trying to stop you and you kept going. I was like, yes, Tito, don't let them stop you do your celebration. Fuck
No
them.
way. And there's some big guys too. I know. They're
I
trying to hold my
know.
shoulders back. I was like, you ain't stopping nothing, man.
You like shrugged them off.
I'm strong as an axe.
That was amazing. That was amazing.
And you know what, man? At the end of the day, it's no disrespect towards Chuck, man. When I
Right,
fight,
that's your
I'm Tito
thing.
behind the beach bad boy, man. That's my thing. That's my signature. I'm gonna do it. I gave him his respect after the fight, and I was thankful that he took the fight. I just was challenged. He challenged me, and my whole life, I've always wanted to be an opportunity to repay what he did me wrong, and I was
Never
able to
back
do
down.
that.
Now I'd
Yeah,
have
never
to think,
back down. If I'm gonna fail 3 times, man, I'm gonna try it 4 more.
Hang on.
That's just the way I am.
Do you want to know?
Anybody out there who's gonna quit in life, I feel bad for them.
Right.
Why live if you're not gonna try? I want to fail all the time. I fail in everything I do, and that's what makes me a better man.
So I'm watching the fight, right? And then this light bulb went off in my head where I was like, how did I never notice this? You have your shorts that you've always were black with flames on the bottom of them, and his were like white with blue ice from on top. I'm like, whoa! Have these guys always been rivals?
I wonder who thought of that idea. I wonder who thought of that idea. Huh. Go look back at our history. Go look back at the beginning of the fights. Listen, I told Chuck to put ice things on his pants.
That's amazing.
I was the one that made that idea. I mean, it goes to a lot of other fighters that are up and comers. I tell them just to run with things, and it's a gimmick, man. You got to have the gimmick behind it.
Right.
Chuck was able to do that, and Chuck was a great champion by doing that, and Hall of Famer. So it's just one of those things you got to be able to market the right way. And at Golden Boy, we're going to do that. We're going to help these young guys come up and become superstars that need to be shown, and not just in a conveyor belt of exactly the same fighters. We want to promote guys. We want to make them great, and I think it's important so they don't have to fight when they're 43 and 48 years old.
So now, obviously, I'd imagine you might have heard what Dana White said about the Golden Boy event this weekend, right?
Oh my gosh. Was that just like hatred because we did well? Jesus Christ, I feel bad for him, man. That just...
Oh, yeah, he was definitely going hard.
Dana's a better man than that. He didn't have to go that far. That was just too wow. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, yeah, definitely eyebrow raising. Now, he didn't say anything particularly insulting to you, but he was definitely going hard at De La Hoya. Real hard at De La Hoya.
I the things he says, I don't know where he sees it. I'm in awe from it. I thought Dana would be a little better man, but Dana does say a thing on emotions, and I guess I could just leave it at that.
Yeah, it was probably hard for everyone. Like I was saying, even for a fan, you never want to see a fighter get knocked out like that. It just happened to be Chuck, but it happens. That's a sport of fighting.
But that's the biggest thing that made him boned about it, that it was Chuck and it was his close friend. But if it was me, he wouldn't give a shit. He wouldn't have said anything. He would have been clapping. He would have posted going, "Ha ha! See, I told you Chuck would knock him out." It was put the foot on the other, put the shoe on the other foot, and it was totally different. But it is what it is.
Do you think Dana had any money on that fight?
The way he was speaking, maybe.
That could be the case.
Possibly. I don't know. That'd be interesting. It was kind of funny, actually. The day before the win, I saw Lorenzo Fertitta at the same hotel I was at because his kids' football team, Notre Dame, were staying at the same hotel I was. And I got to sit down and talk to Lorenzo for a second.
How's he doing?
He was like, he's doing really, really good, man. He looked amazing. He's like, yeah, just keep doing the casino stuff and just working hard. My kid's playing for Notre Dame. He's like, man, you guys are 20 years old right now.
He was probably jacked.
Oh my gosh,
He's like the ultimate warrior.
Yeah, he was like, man, you look in really, really good shape. I go, I worked really hard for this fight, man. It's just, he goes, Tito, wow. I mean, I'm impressed, dude. Good luck to you. And we went our ways, but it was kind of cool to see a Notre Dame football team. I've been a fan since I've been in high school. So I have a little bit of Irish in myself, 10%. So the fighting Irish, huh?
Yeah.
One of those things that just happen for a reason.
Yeah, because his son's a killer, right? He's like a corner.
Actually,
he comes up and bangs dudes. And he's not like a humongous kid. He just full speed, just whap, sacrifices his body.
I believe he's 5'10", 185.
Yeah. Because I had met Lorenzo, even though he was, my boss, when I was helping to get New York legalized, MMA legalized here in New York, and he's like one of the only guys I'm like, even though he's behind the scenes, I'm like almost starstruck to be around. Just the way
Yeah,
he
Muhanna's a
talks
good dude,
and
man.
he
He's an
carries
amazing guy.
himself and the way he looks and just me myself and I, like, I'm a very like funny, like outgoing guy. I was like, man, I have to like, I feel like I have to be very professional around him just because, like I don't know what joke is too much or not,
Yeah, I had that same feeling when I first started hanging out with him. I come to realize he's just a regular guy who's
Yeah.
is normal, man. He's really cool, very down to earth. I've always me and him always got along completely. But it was good to see him and to see that we wish him luck and hope we did well. We deserve it. It just shows the respect, the value that he holds. So, he is an awesome guy.
So now I heard you say a little bit in some of the post-fight interviews. This is it, right? Tito Ortiz is calling it a career after that win over Chuck Liddell?
As a fighter, you are correct. Now it's time to do some really, really hard work and begin something of a new, hopefully, a new experience, a new journey of being a promoter.
Oh, so are you going to be involved in Golden Boy on the promoting aspect?
There's about a good 90% chance of this happening. I have a meeting with them on Friday. They liked it. They thought the show was amazing. They do boxing shows there. We did better than both Bellators that were at the Forum. Actually, all three of them. I think we did better sell. I think we almost did $1 million at the gate. They were really, really, really impressed. They were like, this is so much different than boxing. And I said, guys, we have so much more things to fix. I mean, I'm a person, I pay attention to detail. And there's a lot of things in the promotion that I could help to make it a lot better. And with help with other people who have been in the, also friends of mine that have been in the business, I think it's a home run on both sides and give an opportunity for other fighters, up and coming fighters, an opportunity on his main stage of Golden Boy MMA to show their skills. I think it's important.
Yeah, so you talk about giving back to the fighters. What is Golden Boy doing different in payout than or other organizations like the UFC and Bellator?
Well, I think we're able to kind of fluctuate and be a part of 60% of the revenue from the whole fight to give back to the fighters. Cut it amongst the guys who have a fan follow recognition. I think that's really, really important. Guys could sell tickets. Being able to play around with that type of money is great. But I think in the beginning, for the first year, I mean, this is just me thinking out loud as a businessman. Is you got to start from the ground up, and you got to start with small shows. Start with small shows and build those. I mean, I don't want to compete with the UFC. UFC are their own monster. They're huge. They won't ever be bigger than them in time, at least. It's just right now, let's start small and build up. And I think that was a lot of problem with some of the other companies that they started to start too big and bit off too much in the beginning, where they wasted way too much money.
Right.
I want to be a farmer. I want to grow up the younger kids up and become champions and show them how truly great they can be.
Oh yeah, so I remember the last show we asked you that we had you on. I asked you what the biggest moment of your career was, and it was probably that fight with Wanderlei Silva, winning the title in the UFC. Does this fight with Chuck Liddell, is this like the new highlight, the new biggest moment of your career?
Yeah, I think this surpasses everything for me, and just because of I was supposed to lose. He said I was going to lose. All the fans said I was going to lose, besides my fans. I there's reporters say, "Oh no, well, we didn't know you were going to win." Yeah, but no one would ever say anything. But all of a sudden, when they say, "Yeah, no, we expect you to win," and everyone else is like, "Oh, you fought an old man." But what happened when you said he was going to knock me out, and he said he was going to knock me out? It was a 2-more fight. I was like, man, for me to win this one, it was just, and the way I won it, I didn't win it by taking him down and ground and pounding him. I went wrestling on my strength, and that's my strength is ground and pounding submissions. But I stood on my feet, and I bothered him, we even got away, and I tagged him with punch after punch, and finished it. And I think it is just because there's so much history, so much backdrop of the story between me and Chuck Liddell.
Now, post fight, was the beef buried? You guys definitely embraced each other. Is the beef still buried now?
Beef's all buried, man. It is what it is. At the end of the day, I was trying to make a new business, or I'm not trying. I'm making a new business, and I had an opportunity to do it with Chuck Liddell, one of the greatest MMA fighters in the world that ever graced the cage. And I had that opportunity, and now do I bring him in to help out as an ambassador? I'm willing to do that. I care for Chuck, man. At the end of the day, fighting solves everything sometimes, and in this part, it did.